Man, I tell you what, was last weekend your worst weekend ever?
Worst ever in betting. Yep.
Really?
It was. It's the most money I've ever lost.
You didn't tell me it was your worst.
Worst. I got destroyed.
Well, we talked about a lot of the games that you did lose there on the podcast. Chiefs and Browns, who are playing here very shortly. Pretty much all in on both. And it killed you.
Killed me. Yeah.
So that wasn't great. But you did have Kansas win.
I did. That was so college. I won last week. That
oh, really?
Rarity. Yes. I think but it was just NFL. I should specify worst week of betting ever for the NFL.
Yeah.
Very bad.
Yeah, Kansas was the night game too, so it was kind of like look at the Hawaii that comes in the back end, right? Hopefully saves your day. With everything.
Yeah.
That's kind of like
Boise State.
Yeah, exactly. But that plays real late in the day. That kind of happens. But, interesting enough. We'll go over those here in a second. I guess I'm the only one that has wins, so I'll skim over those.
Nope.
I thought I was going to go 4-0, so I'd be the exact opposite. But Rousseau, man, just did not. Such a weird, typical Bill. I would say it's typical, right? The Bills covered pretty. I never felt like they were in jeopardy. Maybe I guess you could say they were. It's Mahomes.
I mean, yeah, that's the only because of Mahomes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they were in control the whole game.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually watched it, majority of it. Anyway, we got some good stuff as always. The sack props. I think I'm losing it a little bit. I might need you. I might need to bring you in. All right. Okay. I need some expertise. I think I'm starting to lose a little bit. We do not have our standard Bengals, Ravens, Chiefs this week on the docket. Stayed away from them. We'll flash up the Action URL codes if you want to follow us on Action app. All of our bets, maybe not Alex last week, follow us on there to hopefully catch some winnings. I've caught up a little bit this week in terms of some dubs. Finally, college football was profitable.
Nice.
So looking good there. I'm Joe _wannabe pro for my action, and then Alex _Meish for Meish Daddy on the other side if you want to type us in and follow us. We'll go over some. Oh, yeah, you can always follow us. I was going to mention this. I got the QR codes, but we also have an audio version and a video version. I don't think I've said that enough, but if you want to watch us, we got YouTube and Facebook to watch us. If you want to do more of I think they call them chapters of the video. I can't remember what they call them. But basically, it's a timeline that you do for us for the YouTube spots if you want to skip to a certain game.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a little bit easier to watch. Facebook does not do that. So if you're just looking for NFL picks, obviously YouTube's probably going to be the place to go because you can skip ahead there. Also, the audio version we'll have at the bottom too, so you can skip ahead on your timeline.
YouTube is nice, though, at that.
It's so nice.
Yeah, the podcast is just in the description, but YouTube actually, the little bars, like it's real fancy.
I did like that. That was tight. And then audio, you can find us wherever you, let's do your podcast. Where we were right, I got my 3 here. Utah, Colorado -10. I didn't think it was a sloppy game. Got some turnovers and stuff like that. But Colorado kind of covered pretty handedly, right? They were mostly in control all game. They got sloppy at times, but again,
it was still tight going into the fourth, and then see you later.
Yeah, Colorado should have. I mean, let's be real. A backup, what is that? Their third string, kind of lit them up a little bit. Utah's third string, Wilson.
Okay.
I mean, Jason and Joey were saying it was Zach Wilson Jr. out there slinging the ball because Travis Hunter was getting picked on a little bit.
That's what I heard.
He still had.
I watched some, but I also heard pros being like, "Listen, he wasn't good."
Yeah, what was a 64 pass coverage grade, but he did have a pick. I'm sure that saved it some there. But yeah, he got picked on. I think he let up over 60 yards and had a 40-yard bomb on him. So yeah,
against a weird team to let that happen.
100%.
Otherwise, he's been elite.
Not a good offensive team, generally speaking. Especially history says that. So it was interesting. UCLA at Washington. I love this game. A lot of people are on high on UCLA because they've come on strong late, but Washington at home has been really strong. That was a Friday game. Washington at -3.5. That was really never in jeopardy. They took care of business there. I think Washington doesn't play this week. Otherwise, I was looking to rebound on them again. But
so them and Oregon have a bye because that's the last week then. So
okay.
they're both going to be coming off a bye.
Yeah.
I was already considering back in Washington in that spot.
Yeah, I like Washington right now a good bit. Just at home, right? Like, I mean, they've been strong at home all year, so that's kind of why I jumped on that. Plus, UCLA's been rough on the road. Well, they've come on because they got healthier as the season's gone along, but they're still not a great team. They just have some decent wins now, I guess. Jerry Jeudy over 48.5 shooting. You had Tillman, not a best bet. Tillman was not a best bet. However, you did like Tillman's bet.
Yep.
I was really big on pass attempts, Winston, and really big because of that on who's he going to throw to, and I was leaning Jeudy in that spot. Again, as usual, well, I guess we'll see more tonight. The weather is bad, but we'll see. Killed his pass attempts. Winston did. There was no Bo Nix flipping.
I was so mad I didn't follow that one.
Yeah,
he
over 40. Yeah,
right?
over 43 straight games now.
Gosh.
Yeah,
wow.
Tonight should be interesting. It's 34.5, and I hit it. I'm just going to ride it to see. It's raining and it's cold. Yeah.
Because I would be scared because of the weather. But, I mean, hey, who knows?
Nick Chubb can't run the football. Everyone says hammer Chubb tonight. I totally believe if Chubb does not get it going, they won't be scared with Ford. Half and half.
Yeah, he hasn't looked great. Offensive line hasn't given him a lot still. But, that what did he tear? His ACL and MCL?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's understandable that you're not going to come back and look good right away.
Yeah, well,
but he hasn't. He's not the old Nick Chubb.
I don't know. McCaffrey's looked okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, and his is Achilles.
Yeah. Anyway, Ford's a fine running back. We'll see how that goes. Nonetheless, I think the Browns, who they are now, they like to sling it. I know it's gonna be hard in the weather. It was a play like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And then finally, when it doesn't hit, okay, I got it. You know what I mean? 40 times, bro. That's a lot.
That's a lot of pass attempts. Yeah. This goes to the Zeke Elliott. Just keep hitting unders as long as the Bucs let you.
I mean, I did the same thing with Julius Randle and the Knicks in a points, rebounds, assist. I hit that 8 times in a row until it didn't. Yeah, dude. Oh. It's just one of those things. Jeudy over 48.5, kind of vindication there from earlier in the year on my part there. That he had over 150 or was it like 148?
It was right there. I'm pretty sure he got didn't he get a 70-yard reception in the first quarter though? So it was over.
Yep, that was pretty nice.
Yep.
Where we were wrong, Greg Rousseau, I thought that was in the bag. He played a lot of snaps. I thought he got tired late. He was all over the field, but it just seemed like, I don't know. I saw him get close. I know it's Mahomes, but he's been good this year. He just couldn't get there. I mean, that's how sack props go. That they get there, but they don't until they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was
there is a bit of randomness with sacks. And I say that because you look at pressure rate sometimes with guys versus sack, and some guys have 8% pressure rate but 14 sacks, and some guys have 16% pressure rate and 6 sacks.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still like how you approach it. You look at the other offensive linemen. Hey, where can we get this? And then what's our best chance?
Yep.
But there is a little bit of that where you can just get unlucky sometimes.
I know it. Or they're double teamed, right? The guy that you want gets double teamed and brings in an interior lineman or somebody like that swoops in, or a blitzing edge rusher, linebacker, whatever. We both had Browns. You had Browns money line last week.
Yeah, best bet. They got crushed. I mean, fourth quarter, I think it was a tie ball game.
Really? I did not know that. I couldn't see it. So.
Yeah, it was very end of the third with a minute left. Maybe the Saints scored.
Yeah.
But it was 14-14 until then. So it was kind of hey, we're in it, Man. Then the Saints ran him over. Yeah.
I mean, Kamara didn't even get over his receiving total.
He did not. No, that is another one we'll cover because first quarter, I see him bust out an 18-yard reception. Yeah. So here we go.
Yep. Called it.
Finished with 22 yards. So.
Oh my gosh, it's funny. I picked up before we go on the Chiefs-Bengals teaser. I picked up Taysom Hill as filler because Dalton Kincaid was out for that game for the Chiefs. I didn't have anybody. Taysom Hill was on the wire. I was like, you know what? They don't have anybody to throw to besides Kamara. This is
Did you play him last
Played
week?
Him. Random flyer. Oh, it's all luck. I mean, come on. You know what, dude?
Yes.
Who would have thought?
Right, because I played against a guy that had Taysom Hill and he was on his bench, and I'm like, woof, thank goodness, because that beats me by him. But how do you know the guy's going to run for 100 yards and 3 touchdowns and throw and catch?
Dude, when I saw that, I was like, that is 100% luck. Because I was thinking about, because his over-under receiving and rushing was like 48.5, and I was like, that's kind of high. I mean,
yeah.
But, I mean, I guess when you think about it from a fundamental, basic standpoint, they have no one else. They got to get creative a little bit on the offensive end. Like, you know what I mean?
That's true.
They just didn't get creative enough for Kamara, I guess.
Yeah.
Chiefs-Bengals teaser, it's tough for you. That was tough.
Oh, yeah, it sucks. Had 8.5, and they lost by 9. And I really thought, because Chiefs got the ball with 2 minutes left. Mahomes can do Mahomes things.
Yeah.
And I was like, even if they get down there and time's running low, they'll kick a field goal. You know how teams will do that because they need 2 scores anyways.
Yep.
So I felt really good about it the last possession, but was not meant to be. Just I don't have much else to say about it. Right? Bills kind of owned them, and
let me ask you on this a couple things. Like the Chiefs, they is it 2 targets for Kelsey, and the second one doesn't even count because it was a heave at the end of the game to him.
Yeah.
So 1 target to Kelsey all game.
Yeah, what happened?
Is there anything with Reed trying to be like, ha ha, and then the playoffs happen? It's like, yeah, boy, 150 for Kelsey. I don't know. Like,
I think that's a good point, actually. Because I have heard that Reed just will tinker with things all season and not always put out his best stuff. Like, he's going to obviously put out good stuff, but he does a lot of tinkering and figuring out, like, let's try this. Now, I don't know this game specific, but it is like you haven't seen Kelsey except for like week 1 and 2 ever.
Dude,
had a game like this.
He had 8 yards.
You texted me and you're like, I've never seen a live prop with Kelsey at 9.5 all over under. And it's like, what?
And I hit it. I went after it. I was like, this is insane. He'll at least get a catch on the last 2 drives, which the last drive was kind of meh. But that one drive, they were going, didn't get a catch the whole time. And I was just like, this is so weird. You know?
Yeah, it's like, did the Bills just completely try to take him away only? Because I'll be honest, it was a surprise birthday party during the game. I tried to watch as much as I could, but it was kind of back and forth, so I didn't get to pay close attention to the game. So I didn't get to see what was going on.
The game was pretty good. I mean, as expected. I thought. I mean, I know that Bills won and covered, but it was a good game nonetheless. But and then on the Bengals side, I kind of expected it, but man, 2 missed field goals by McPherson to put that away. I rolled on live at 16.5, which that not that. Oh, I know. And that was at halftime.
Yeah.
I was like, because it's kind of like when a team can't be that good. I mean, we saw with the Vikings being up 28-0 earlier this year, and they only winning by 4. A team cannot be that hot and that insane for 4 quarters. That's tough, especially when there's a halftime that breaks it. Mm-hmm. And plus, when you always have a Burrow, a pretty good quarterback to sling it, dude, that is the best I've seen him look. I think that I've watched a full game. He was making plays that he should have been sacked 10 times.
Yeah, like I could specifically think of the 4th quarter.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And just throwing dimes too.
Unbelievable how good he can be sometimes, and how bad that Bengals offensive line is.
Yeah, I think did he set a new, I don't know if it's not an official record, but I think he's the first guy to throw for, 300 yards, all these touchdowns, 3 games in a row, and lose every game.
Yeah, and they keep saying that record every week, a different 300 yards, and they keep losing. And I'm like, because let's if the Bengals go on a run, they're not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if they go on a run, if they do go on a run, they won't. But if they do, he'll win MVP maybe.
You think so?
If they make the playoffs, I mean, come on. It's because of him.
100%.
And the defense is bending. They're breaking now, but they're bending then. But yeah, I mean, dude, he's doing it all.
He's lighting it up.
And Jamar Chase, God, dude, I can't stand that dude. I cannot stand him. I mean, fantasy owners got to love him. Yep.
Like just the drop pass. Yeah.
A couple first downs he dropped.
Yep.
Yet
he wants to be the highest paid receiver. Yeah, me and you both agree on this. We can't stand the guy.
Anyway, tough look for McPherson. I think he's not the worst. Koo for the Falcons is the worst kicker in the league statistically.
That's crazy because he was so good last year.
Yeah. McPherson, I know he's at like 75% this year. Yeah, dude.
You know who else is down this year? Kicker.
Who?
That's really good. Justin Tucker.
Yeah. He said I heard on the radio, he's figured something out last week after he missed.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. He's aiming too far left.
Oh, God. Okay, Justin.
I think he needs a nice dome, playing in the dome game at some point. You know what I mean? To kind of get on track. It's just nuts. McPherson hit 2 in the first quarter.
And he's been good he's young, but he's had a good career.
Yeah, I said that in text. He's kind of lost it. No, this year he just lost it.
Yeah, kicker's such a mental game, man.
No question.
Wild.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it's funny because Bengals actually came back and covered that teaser number.
Yes, they did. Yeah, half.
Because it looked terrible. I was like, man, I'm going to miss both legs of the teaser. Like, just keep piling on.
Yeah.
Just fucking pile it all on in 1 week. Which we can transition to the next one. Kraft over 34.5 receiving. 0 catches. 0 catches. 0 yards.
Did he have a target? Do we know?
He had 1 target. One target. I looked 1 target. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I had said that, like, over on the best bets portion. My only fear is Green Bay seems to have one guy go off every week.
Yeah.
And guys can disappear. And that was my fear. And that came to fruition. Every team has just annihilated the Bears with their tight end. So I really thought that was good, but yeah, it was not even close.
Yeah. I mean, Christian Watson's for like 2 passes.
Yeah, right. He just had big plays.
Yeah. And missed tackles as well when that happened. But yeah, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. That's it. The next one was Kamara. We kind of touched on it. Got the big reception early, and then they locked him down and let Taysom Hill take over. So it was an 0-4 week. Tough. I think because I was thinking, too, I think I had 6 winning weeks in a row before this.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were due.
And then I very, very much due. I was hoping not an 0-4, but fuck it. It happens.
Yeah,
you know?
I get it. Nope, I'm totally right there with you. I understand. All right, we'll flash the records now. I've caught you I don't know. Sorry. You lost enough to catch me. I don't know how you want to phrase that.
I get what you mean. We basically have the same win-loss record.
Yeah, same win-loss record. Just because of my pretty good week. Brousseau should have had it, didn't have it. That's all right. But we're looking good, though. We have winning records. There are some good ROIs in there, too. So, there's definitely positive. We're in the black in money made here. Come on, kids. Like, you know what I mean?
That's hard.
So if you're following both of us, you got it. And we've never taken the same best bet necessarily. So we always have 4 different ones or whatever it may be, right? Yep. You've had, a 3 at some time, but nonetheless, they're always different. So combined is real solid, right?
Not mad at all. And for the listeners, just throw it out there since they're not seeing.
Yeah, sorry.
Was it 22-18 for me and 25-21 for Seahawks?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, winning bets out there. Hopefully get some more winning ones. We got holiday season coming up, so maybe more time for you to listen and us to give you some good stuff. That's right. We need to talk about what we're going to do next week.
We do. We'll have to talk off air because
yes.
I'm not. Yeah, because I've got a 7.5 hour drive, so we got to figure that out. But we will have a show next week.
Yeah, we will. Let's get it rolling. All right. So upcoming week schedule. The first one we got NFL first. We have Lions at Colts. I thought the games that you noted were extremely difficult this week. I actually might think it's the hardest week that I've had in terms of finding an advantage, but that's because Vegas is also doing a lot better job as well. Let's give some props here.
Yeah.
Lions at Colts, what you got?
Well, I'm kind of glad you said you felt that way because I also felt that way. I was like,
good.
fuck, man, I can't find bets. I remember going through this game last night, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Now, I ended up getting somewhere, but also, real quick, before I get into it, do you have a lot of props on this game? Because I've got very little available to me for some reason.
Oh, sorry, to bet on.
Like props available. I'm not seeing a whole lot. I don't know why.
It's weird. I was looking at today, kind of browsing, and I didn't see a lot for a lot of games. But, I got everything pretty much now, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wait, that's not true. It's only for one team. Like receiving, there's only one Lion listed. In receptions, there's only one Lion listed. St. Brown, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Rushing is pretty solid. I'm pretty solid on rushing.
Do you have Anthony Richardson?
for passing things. Yeah, what do you need?
No, rushing. I have no rushing for him.
Sorry. Yes.
You do. See, I don't have that. I couldn't find Josh Downs.
I do have Josh Downs.
Do you? Okay, see, and I saw he was on some other books, just none of the books I use.
Yeah, 40.5 rushing for Richardson.
That's okay. I saw that that's what's available. Just again, I got 3 books and not on any of my books.
That's
I don't know
crazy.
why. Anyways, yeah, and I'm just unsure because sometimes when it's like, hey, there's a lot of questionable guys. I get it. They hold off longer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this game's kind of sad. I mean, Lions have some questions on the offense, or Colts have some questions on the offensive line, but
I think
anyways. Anyways, and I asked about the Richardson one because this is just strictly Lions. Pretty aggressive defense. So go back and look at some of what the quarterbacks have done against them, and they're running the football. They struggle in some other areas, but quarterbacks can run the football. So I'm looking at taking a Richardson rushing over that 40.5 if I can find it. Other things, Josh Downs. So another Lions like to give up yards to the number 1 receiver, I've noticed. And I haven't played a lot of number 1 receivers, but I played Justin Jefferson the week that they played the Colts. And we were down there in Florida, and he blew up. I had like over 100. So what I ended up doing, because we got Anthony Richardson back. All right, I kind of want to put the Colts. It's an interesting game. Anthony Richardson comes back. I think that makes it hard, probably too. Maybe that's why you struggled with this a little bit. But the thing about Anthony Richardson, obviously terrible completion percentage. We know that. So he hits long bombs. So I said, all right, I'm going to take Josh Downs. Don't do this bet a lot. Over 22.5 longest reception. That's where he ended up going because he can throw bombs. Anthony Richardson on the year. 31% completion percentage on throws traveling 10 or more yards down the air. Last week, he was 9 of 13. I don't know if that's because it's the Jet, right? I don't think he's suddenly just like, oh, we're here.
A great passer.
yeah. But that's the fucking, the dichotomy with this guy. Like, what are we going to get from him? And I think it always makes Colts games hard to bet on.
Yeah.
Here's another interesting thing I noticed about this game. Well, so Lions have Alexander Zaloni got hurt. He's, I think, their best linebacker. So he's out this game. So people know that. Colts also have a couple guys on IR on the offensive line, and their tackle, Bernard Raymond or whatever, he's questionable this week. Something to monitor if he's going to come back. That scared me away from all the Colts rushing props because Jonathan Taylor's done pretty good this year. The Lions have given up a lot of rushing yards except for the last 2 games. Now, what the hell happened there? I know they picked up Zadarius Smith when we were on the cruise. Didn't think that would make that a difference. So anyways, scared of the rushing props for like a Jonathan Taylor because I was thinking maybe I go that way. Because I think the Lions are gettable there. Don't like that. I do like the Lions to win the game. That's about it. So I've got them as a leg of the teaser. I'm going back to the fucking teaser. I know they're killing me this year. I'm still doing it. I still like it. I can't stop myself, people. Yeah. I love teasers, man. I love it. So I don't like the -7.5. I do not. But I do like the Lions to win the football game. So I've got them in a teaser. I like Josh Downs to catch one of those air balls from Anthony Richardson. Otherwise, it's just hard, man. Like you said, I'm interested to hear what you say on this game because I'm just no clear thoughts except for those 2 bets that I have.
Yeah, I mean, it was extremely tough. Wow, here we go. What is it now? Oh, okay, dang. I have Josh Downs over 58.5 receiving yards. I see it's dropped actually at 57.5 now, so someone's hit a big under on that. But no, it's only a yard. But I like it pretty good because I agree. He's a highly graded receiver. I mean, he's a good player. You know what I mean? So that helpful. And we hit it, a little bit of part of me that likes it because we did hit it once barely this year. So that's always kind of nice, right? That feels good, a little positive. But the thing is the Colts pass a lot. Last 2 weeks, 35 attempts, 30 attempts. That's a lot for someone who's not really that good of a passing quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do like the fact that they're looking to just give Richardson some reps, get him going. And Downs has hit this total in every game but 2.
Damn.
Yeah, 58.5. So that was really positive. I was digging that. The only thing that is, it just kind of sucks. The Lions last week, and you can check me on this, only because I had a bet on the Lions to get a sack. I know they killed the Jags, but I don't think they had a sack in the entire game.
Really?
Against Mac Jones. I don't believe so.
Based on that score, I'll check. Keep talking. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, what? Backup quarterback? Are you kidding me? Oh, no, they had one. Okay, they ended up getting one. It was split, right? Jack Campbell and Zadarius Smith. So still, a line that is average. It's not like the Jags line is terrible, but it's average. And a backup quarterback, I thought for sure, bank it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. Dude, the Lions didn't punt all game. I didn't know that. That's crazy. I think the spread's spot on, man. That's why I thought it was tough. I do like the Lions to cover, but the NFL always bites back. What do I mean by that? Biting back. Just when you think it's awesome and looks great. You know what I mean? Like, it bites back, right? This makes too much sense. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm like, okay. I like the 7.5. I do think they'll cover it, but I don't have the balls to bet it, so I'm staying off. But if I want to bet something, again, it's Josh Downs 58.5. I like the under here a little bit. I do.
The under.
I do. I just like it. I mean, especially with the Lions, still got a great pass defense, right? Lions are ranked 3rd, right? They're also a very good tackling team, and we can go on all day about how good the Lions are. Okay, we got it. You know, there's millions of people that are betting them went on the Super Bowl because they're they're a sound football team, and they've lost Aiden Hutchinson. You know what I mean? So with that said, here's the kicker: the Colts can't run the ball, and that's the Lions' weakness. That sucks.
Yes, that's kind of where I was getting at. Yeah, yes.
Jonathan Taylor sucks balls.
Oh, that's aggressive.
Dude, if you go look at him, he's one of the worst rated running backs in the NFL at running the football.
No shit.
Yes, I think he's 2nd or 3rd to last. Like all these studs, man. It's the same little story, man. After 3 or 4 years, Nick Chubb, Jonathan Taylor. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just, these guys just start to, and Josh Jacobs, when's he going to fall off? I know his team, he's doing fine, but I'm just saying, like, these guys get running in the freaking ground, man. And then, of course, Taylor's, obviously had his drama between the getting paid and some injuries and whatever that was last year, I think it was. But I was just, to go on top of your possible bet that you were looking at, I did bring up some juicy info you might like. I don't know.
Okay.
Rushing yards for a quarterback this season for Detroit defense, right? Yep. The highest that they have allowed is Arizona. Kyler Murray can run the ball very well. I mean, he's an athletic guy. He had 45. That is the only total this season where quarterbacks had over what Richardson has. However, Mayfield had 34. Geno had 38. I'm assuming this is Sam Darnold with 39.
Yep.
Will Levis with 29. CJ Stroud, he doesn't really run the ball. He had 5. But outside of that, no one else has a running quarterback. For example, Stafford, no chance he's running the football.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm assuming Dak was out on the 13th. I don't know. October 13th game. But nonetheless, Dallas only had 3 rushing yards. The only thing is the 2 running quarterbacks, I don't consider Geno really a running quarterback, but Baker is athletic. So we had 34 for Baker, 45 for Kyler. I think the 40 is pretty much spot on, but I could see hopping on over there.
Yeah, again, man, we actually kind of came to, as tough as this was, some similar thoughts on this, like liking Josh Downs, seeing that the Lions allowed these like kind of athletic but not running quarterbacks to all get to that 30 to 40 yard range.
Well, when your line is so damn good, you're going to get out of the pocket and try to make something happen. Does that happen with Richardson here? Does he just freak out and like, fuck it, I'm out of here. I'm going. You know what I mean?
if you're a Colts backer, you kind of hope so.
Yeah.
Because he's probably not going to do it all with his arm, man.
I know. It's just like I was diving into him, this is a couple episodes back. It just felt like when he tried to, like when he got benched, he was trying to run a lot. He had some fumbles, right? They weren't putting a winning product on the field by him running the ball. But when he would stand in the pocket and deliver short passes, he was okay.
Yeah.
Now they're throwing 30, 35 times a game. I mean, I don't know what it sounds. But if you can't run the ball with Jonathan Taylor, I don't know. The Colts are kind of a mess. They're just not very good. But I like what they're doing. And, and I guess the Panthers took a note out of their book, and they're doing, and they're playing their rookie. They're playing their younger guys, right? Bryce Young, not a rookie anymore, but you know what I mean? They're playing Richardson and Young now. And shit, maybe, Young's, 2 in a row or whatever? He's played very admirable. To put them competing. But anyway, so that's what I got. Josh Downs, not a best bet, though, for me.
Oh, it's not a best bet.
It's a made bet, not a best bet.
I'm going to be on that bet with you.
Okay.
Like I said, I just can't find it in my books right now. I'm sure it'll pop tomorrow or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Only other thing, so both these teams are great against the spread. Just throwing that out there this year.
Yeah.
Lions have only lost 2. Colts have only lost 3. They have been darlings at the window. Interesting thing here, because I'm like you. If I were to take a side, be forced to, I would take the Colts. I'd rather just tease the Lions down though. It's just the inconsistency. Here's the crazy thing: spread, 99% of the money is on the Lions. Why? Why? I don't know. That I have nothing to add to that. It's a stat for people to listen to because it's insane.
Yeah, the NFL's so interesting with money percentage this early. I think so many people wait late now, but
I think the public all bet Saturday night, Sunday morning. Yeah,
I could be wrong here, but yeah. I mean, again, like I said, I like the Lions. I'm not saying that because the Sharps are on. I do. I just the Colts are just not good enough to beat a team with that good of a pass rush. Well, they're sound altogether, but pass rush and pass coverage, and you're focused on Richardson going off, and I don't know if I'm down with that.
Yeah,
maybe running the ball.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Next on the list, we got 49ers at Packers. It's honestly an interesting game. We kind of were talking about the Rams kind of being upwards, and then we're on the Bengals maybe trending up, and now they're maybe trending down or whatever. But anyway, 49ers at Packers. I think 49ers are a bit of a mess, but I think the Packers might be trending up. Tough.
Do you?
I think so, dude. I think Jordan Love. I think he's a guy. I think he can be that guy. I think he can win a Super Bowl. I think he could do it.
I don't disagree with you. I think he's got a very high ceiling.
He's a baller, man.
He just has some throws in some games where it's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Yeah, it's Packers.
And then he's young. It's only his second year starting. Let's give him. But because from the overall standpoint, I think he's great. And it's like, wow, Packers got another Hall of Famer. Sweet, But he just does some dumb shit right now.
I know, and Brett Favre did too.
That's a very good point. Yeah, yes, you are correct on that. Yeah. So I came into this game pretty convinced I was going to take the Niners plus 2.5. Spoiler alert: I am not, and I'm actually seeing it 3. I wonder if that must be very recent.
Yeah, we're at 3 on most books now. I think somebody's got a 2.5, but mostly have 3. That's what we're looking at here.
I feel like an hour and a half. I was seeing all 2.5. That's interesting.
Yeah, everybody on our list here we have on the browser is 3. So that means MGM 365, FanDuel, and DraftKings.
Yeah. Okay. That's a very, very recent move. Anyways, I'm talked out of the Niners. I'm not taking the Packers though. I did listen to some pros that are taking the Packers. I'm not convinced at all because when you said they're on the up and up, I'm like, man, I feel the opposite. So that's why I was curious that you said that. I wanted to like the Packers this year, and after some games, but they just seem to. I don't know, man. I still think there's something not perfectly clicking. I think they could do like last year and enter the playoffs, and if they get hot, I think they could make the Super Bowl. That's kind of what I see with the Packers right now. I feel like they're in a little bit of a funk, and I feel like this is a must-win game for the Niners. That's why I was like, man, I want the Niners. Something's not right with the Niners this year, obviously, too. But so the reason I kind of talked myself out of the Niners was primarily because of injuries. I don't know if Nick Bosa is going to play. He left the game last week. I did not watch the tape, but everything I read is before he pulled himself out of the game, he had no get off. Like he was that injured. He had no get off.
Wow. Yeah.
So even if he plays this week, I don't know what you're going to get from him. And he's huge, man. I mean, that guy's elite when
him and Chris Jones. I know
so good.
I know edge rusher, interior lineman, but defensive ballers.
Yes.
Guys that win, their win percentage, their win rates. they're big time, bro. Defensive player of the year candidates.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So not having him, that's a big deal for me, man. That kind of scared me out. You got George Kittle, says he's coming back this week.
Yeah, I saw that.
You have Brock Purdy dealing with an injury, a shoulder injury. He's going to play from everything I've heard. But again, if you're fighting through injuries, he didn't have one throw last week against the Seahawks that was traveled more than 20 yards in the air.
Oh boy!
So I'm like, are we nursing something here and hiding it? Because we don't want to put our backup in. Here's the one thing I think, a kind of a motivation spot. Haven't talked about this in a little bit, but the motivation for the Niners I think is massive. So this is the other leg I'm teasing with Lions. And I didn't just pick this game because I was going to tease those two. Like I genuinely went through and I was like, these are my two favorite teasers. I also think the Rams could be a good teaser, just throwing that out there too at plus 2.5 against the Eagles. But these are my two favorite teaser legs because I said it last week with the Chiefs. I'll say it again with the Niners. I don't see them losing by margin here. But they're battling through a lot right now. And so I'm not comfortable taking them at only a field goal. Curious again. Props wise, fuck the Packers. I'm not betting any of their props. That's all I'll say. I mean, I have no idea what they're going to do.
I'll say this: if Purdy's out, bro, they will run McCaffrey until he's dead again. Are you kidding me? No Kittle, like, dude. I mean, I'm assuming Kittle will play at this point. But like, dude, this will be McCaffrey all day, man. Just dump it to his ass. Mm-hmm. Right, and let him get upfield. Holy smokes. So I would definitely look at that. I haven't, but I'd consider it.
Good point. Like a rushing plus receiving, whatever.
Yeah, dude. Like
both?
I would look at both. I would even look at receptions, depending on what that is. Like, because remember, when he first came back, they hit McCaffrey in that first half versus the Buccaneers a couple times, receptions-wise, like to try to get him going, get him touches. I like, true. You know what I mean? So that's something to think about here with that. I don't know. Let's see what TD score for him. Anytime's -175 for McCaffrey. That's hilarious. I got nothing on the Niners. They are sitting. Vegas is staying put on them until they hear more info. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Dude, here's the thing. 49ers, I had their defense in fantasy. And I'm going somewhere with this, I promise.
Okay.
49ers had their defense in fantasy, and they were okay. They were actually pretty decent to start the year, like all defenses in fantasy, very inconsistent, right? You get a nice 10er, but then you'll get a 5er. They have started to fall off here a little bit, right? This defense is not as good as you think the Niners are. I know they got Bosa, and they got Fred, right? They got some ballers, but they suck at run defense and they can't tackle. That just popped out of me immediately on PFF. 27th in rush defense, 23rd in tackling. Okay, that's not good. Josh Jacobs is pretty good back. He led the team in receiving last week in that Bears game. That's not where I'm going with it. But he's second in the NFL in yards after contact. You can't stop the run, and then you can't tackle him when he does. And the dude, and guess who's first in rush? Guess who is first in yards after contact?
It's probably going to be some scrub or someone I perceive as a
scrub. No,
it
is exactly who you think it would be.
Derrick Henry?
There you go. Yes.
Okay.
So it's not Derrick Henry, it's Josh Jacobs, mainly because, well, he's a good runner. Obviously, I think he led the NFL in carries last year for the Raiders, I think. Yeah. Anyway, so I love the Josh Jacobs over 7.5 rushing prop. I think it's a lot, so that's why it scared me a little bit. But I do like it based off of the injuries you just talked about earlier, right? And, let's just run the football. I just think they really – I think the Packers got a little bit lucky. I know we kind of said that. You weren't – I say they're a little bit on the way up. They've won a lot of games. I mean, if you look at their schedule, they've lost to the teams that they should lose to. And they beat all the teams that they should beat, right? We have an Eagles loss. We got a Vikings loss. We got a Lions lost. I know they're not covering. The ATS isn't great. But, dude, the NFL is insane, man. I think if you just win, that's all you need. Just the way I look at it. I know for betting purposes, a little different, but they're winning. Here's the thing. I like the Packers to win a game. Didn't bet it. I think it's going to be close. I think I'm going to see them running the ball here, especially if Purdy's out. Josh Jacobs, I think they're going to run the ball because they see the weakness now with Bosa out and all of that. I think they're going to see the weakness here and kind of pound the run with Jacobs. Go ahead.
Oh, do we look at an under then? Because you kind of mentioned both teams.
Yeah, I don't mind here. I can pull it up for us here. One thing I did note, and while I'm pulling it up, I'll talk here. Sorry. Let me flip it over here. Where are we at? There we go. 46.5. That's a good number.
It's been bet down from 48 too.
And the weather's not that bad. The weather's fine in Green Bay. That's why I'm a little scared there. But I'm assuming if Purdy's ruled out, be aware of that dropping. I'm assuming 3 points.
Oh, and the spread's going to go to what? 6.5?
Yeah. I would probably flop the 49ers at that point, maybe, especially if it got to a touchdown.
I agree.
As in, we've seen the ATS for the Packers. They win the games. They don't cover the games. This is weird. I'm going to throw this in there. Purdy has only been an underdog once in his entire career.
No shit.
Isn't that insane?
Insane.
And the time that he was an underdog, he got injured.
Oh, God.
Against
That's
the Eagles
game? Yeah. Oh.
Which they probably would have won. We don't know. You can't do that kind of thing. But, I'm just saying.
That's a wild stat because nobody knew he was good when he came in.
Yeah, I know.
Damn.
I know. Tells you how good talent-wise the 49ers have been in a minute.
Yeah.
Just if you're live betting, a lot of people are going to be watching. 49ers are 2-8 against the second half spread this year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good little nugget. Okay.
Mm-hmm. This doesn't matter, but just a tidbit. Shanahan is 1-3 straight up regular season versus the Packers. Regular season. Keep that in mind. Regular season. Playoffs are different. So I'm going with Josh Jacobs over 7.5. I think I put that. I'm going to cheat here. I'm sorry. Yes, I do. That's a best bet. I like it a lot. It makes so much sense on the rush defense side of the ball for the 49ers.
Yeah.
Bosa's out, man. And they don't tackle anyway. So that's why
yeah, Seahawks had some success. Oh, here's an interesting, two interesting nuggets. One, I'm just going to give out as a stat. One, I want your opinion on. So first one, we love our guy Fred Warner, right?
Yeah.
Rated the best, stud. Just heard this today. On his last 30 coverages where he has been targeted, he has allowed 30 receptions.
What?
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Is it to a tight end for 4 yards and he's just going to tackle him? I don't know. I'm interested.
Yeah, I'd be interested to if I had time to just.
I need to see a cut up of that. Can we get a cut up?
Yeah. Who can make us that? But here's the thing I want your opinion on. Robert Salah.
Yeah.
He was hired as an offensive analyst for the Packers when he was fired by the Jets.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
He obviously knows the Niners probably better than anybody. I could see this as a move made because they would anticipate playing the Niners in the playoffs and knew this game was coming up. What do you think about that angle? He is now so he doesn't even help the offense. He's an analyst, and as Matt LaFleur, whatever. Coach LaFleur said, I read an article on this when they hired him. He wants them to, he wants to help say, hey, what are defenses seeing on us, right? So he's not helping the offense with plays and shit, but he's helping Matt LaFleur say, what do I do with, what could the defense try to do to stop this?
Yeah. This is random. You may or not know. I guess they have. 49ers had a bye week. Or sorry, Packers have had a bye week, right? I'm trying to think when that would be.
Let's take a look here. I don't know the top of my head.
I'm just skimming really quick.
Yes, they did. 2 weeks ago.
They did. Was he hired week 10?
He was hired prior.
I like it.
It was 1 week after he was fired by the Jets.
Okay, so definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Bye week's always a great time. Like you just said, you assess you. You scout you. Bye week is that, right? So bringing someone on the outside in like that, they're scouting themselves to figure out what they see on them. Now, that offense was a bit weird at the Bears the next week. But either way, it's just tough with the injuries that you have on the 49ers. So are they the same? Are they going to be the same team that we've been seeing throughout the year? McCaffrey did just come back a couple weeks ago, right? So this 49ers team still is a bit fresh. But I think it's an advantage. I think it's nice, but I don't know what kind of movement I don't know. I don't think it has girth yet, but I like it. It's a good idea.
Yeah, just an angle to think about.
It is. I know. I just, gosh, the 49ers injury is just a mess, right?
It's bad. Yeah. I mean, that's what kept me off.
Yeah. What's the backup quarterback for the Niners?
I was actually talking to a friend last night, and I don't know, and I never looked it up.
Oh, you never looked it up? Okay.
No.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't.
Yeah, because they end up going to their backup. What was it, in the playoff game versus the Eagles, and I'm sure it's on the same. Brandon Allen, is that the guy from A&M? Arkansas. Sorry, that's right. Okay.
Arkansas. Okay.
Brandon Allen.
I feel like he was with the Bengals for a bit.
Listen, if you need to win one game, Josh Dobbs is not a bad idea.
Jeez.
He's a third string guy for the.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Not a bad idea. All right. Cardinals versus Seahawks. This one is interesting and kind of juicy. I actually didn't mind it. Researching it, getting some data. I thought there's a lot of good stuff. There's actually, and just because the Seahawks got a lot of people back last week, mainly their offensive line. But what you got?
I like the Cardinals here, coming off a bye. Only scary thing for me is, I've talked about this in the past. I feel like this is kind of a broken record. I say it with guys. A little bit of inconsistency from Kyler Murray. Did he play Call of Duty or did he study on his bye week? I don't know. I don't know what he did.
Yeah.
But I like what the Cardinals are doing this year. They've had some really impressive games, in games when sharps were fading them, and they've still just routed teams. I like their offensive coordinator, Drew Petzing. Funny stat, him and Kevin Stefanski were quality control guys for the Vikings when Mike Zimmer got hired, because I was there for like 1 month.
Yeah.
Drew Petzing is also like 4'10", so funny, but he's doing a good job in Arizona. I think he's making it easier on Kyler Murray. They've got some good weapons, obviously. Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride's coming on. The interesting thing with the Cardinals, man, when you go look at like their pieces on defense, you're like, there's nothing here besides Budda Baker. You know, like, there's nothing, but yet they keep holding teams and they keep winning football games. I kind of wanted to throw this in because I think it's super interesting, but also because Cardinals are your favorite team.
They are this year.
This year.
Yep.
So here's a stat, though. Seahawks
Yep.
are 1-6 against their number in their past 7 home divisional games. Also at home, they're not very good this year. I don't know what that is. Coming off an emotional win versus the Niners that they had to have. Now, every team in that division is very alive. Like, it's wide
doubt.
open right
One game
now.
separation, yeah.
Yep, it is wide open right now, which I think almost would kind of be interesting to take the Rams just based on number. And I don't know if they're going to win just based on the number. And like any of these teams could catch fire, I guess is what I'm thinking. And so the numbers could totally flip in this division. But anyways, in this spot, listen, you go look at the roster on PFF. It does nothing to promote me wanting to take the Cardinals. But when I watch them and I see them get better throughout the year, like, this is a team I still think's got room to grow. Like, I think they're on the up a little bit. I don't have anything against the Seahawks here. I think Geno Smith has had a pretty good year. He's another guy that seems to play bad for 3 quarters and then have one really good quarter in the 4th quarter. So there's something if Cardinals are, winning by a touchdown in the 4th quarter, something like that.
Yeah.
Prop wise, I'll be honest, in this game, I did not have a lot of time. I just didn't dig into it deep. I knew I liked the Cardinals though, especially once I saw some of those trends about the Seahawks not being great at home and not doing good in the divisional games, coming off the emotional win versus the Niners. So, that's the best bet for me. I'm taking a money line. The numbers kind of flipped this week. It's a little battle in the market, but I like the Cardinals, especially coming off the bye week. So that's where I'm at.
It's weird because the Seahawks did get 2 linemen back, and they were starters to begin the year, but they were out all year until now, last week. Right? So it's tough to turn, and they graded well last week, so it's tough to kind of judge, are they back? Did they just have a good game? That kind of threw me off because they let up 7 sacks to the Rams and they let up 4 to the 49ers. So they still got after the quarterback there. So that was kind of concerning to me. Dude, it's insane. The Seahawks pass 68.6% of the time. They sling the football. And DK Metcalf's been banged up this year some. Right?
Yeah.
So they're not afraid to sling it. The key to this game is going to be obviously how does the Cardinals defense handle them slinging the football, right? That's an obvious statement. The problem is the Cardinals are ranked 30th in pass rush, right? So, and if you look at Geno's numbers, he doesn't really do well under pressure. He has a, what is it? I got here, 50.2 QBR under pressure. Okay. But, right, the Cardinals have also gone completely dormant in games on pass rush, but they had 6 sacks against Chicago and 3 against the Jets. All right. So they can't get after the quarterback. I did find something random. I think this is another Corey, like Greg Dortch, or like some random dude that he's found that he's trying to make up a bet that could work. But they have, especially with this last like 2 to 3 weeks, if you look him up, they try to have like an exclusive, like a Chase Young, although this guy's not Chase Young. Look up Xavier Thomas, right? If you look at him, he got a lot of snaps week 1. I don't know if he was banged up. I don't know a lot about this guy, but it kind of went in hibernation all the way up until week 8. And they've kind of increased his pass rushing snaps. And that's kind of like what he does. So he had 2
third down specialist.
There you go. He had 2 sacks in week 9. He had 1 in week 10. So the Cardinals are trying to get better at rushing the passer because they don't really have much. Like you just said, a lot of their guys, they don't really pop out at you. So they're trying to get better at the pass rush. And that's going to be really key to this game. I think I love the Cardinals, right? They are my team this year. I like Kyler Murray. I think if the Cardinals continue to roll, maybe throwing a couple dollars on Kyler Murray to maybe win MVP is not a terrible idea. I said continue to roll. I think that's a tall task. Relax. But I like me some Jordan Love and I like me some Kyler Murray right now. So I'm kind of all feeling them up a little bit. But over 47.5 is what I like because the Seahawks are going to throw it. You know, we're looking at the player grades. We're looking at this, obviously 107.1 is when he has a clean pocket. Geno Smith's really good QBR. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that stick out that the Seahawks have an advantage. All the pros that I've seen have Seahawks winning the game. Right?
Oh, really?
Some people got +1. I'm sorry, should I know that? Some people got +1. Some people got -1, right? Yep. Looks like here you're going to get same difference. You know, a lot of -1s for the Cardinals, so you can get some +1s now. Going to be a good game. We have a couple good 430s again this week. But I think in my old-fashioned way, I think since we have 7 sacks to the Rams, 4 sacks to the 49ers, still got the O-lineman trying to come back, maybe trying to get still in the fold here. I'm going to look at a sack prop. I want to see what the number is. I think you're going to get some juicy stuff for Xavier Thomas, and you're going to get some juicy stuff for Dante Stills. He was on a 3 straight sack streak, 3 straight games. It was broken last week versus the Jets, funny enough. And what did I say? They had 4 against the Jets there, so he didn't even get a 30, sorry. He didn't even get it on the party. So I'm going to be looking at that. I would prefer to be on the safe side with Stills. Because here's the thing. They're going to throw the ball a ton, right? Yeah, the Seahawks are going to get a lot of opportunity to do it. They're going to want to do it because he's got a good QBR versus a clean pocket. They're not going to believe the Cardinals can get to him. They think their line's back, right? They got a couple dudes back. What is it? Their center and their right tackle. So their center, Lucas and Alatimi. Doesn't matter.
There you go.
They're back.
Hard to
Doesn't matter. Yeah. So it's going to be, I like the over 47.5 a lot. I really think you should hit that just because both teams are going to be wanting to. The only thing is, like, it's turnovers, right? I don't know. I don't really want to bank on that. The only thing with Xavier Thomas on the sacks, I'm going to go into that, is that he doesn't have a lot of snaps. That's the only kind of negative part. That's why I think it'll be. Yeah. That's why.
That's tough.
But anyway, So I think it's going to be a cool game to watch.
I agree. I think it's interesting. It could go a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I think that's it'd be a really good watch. Obviously, I'd be rooting for the Cardinals.
What did I hear on this game? The over under, because I saw you like the over.
Yeah,
and I was looking and like the over too. What is something? Kyler Murray in road divisional games. Mm-hmm. He's an under guy though, so just him, just his trends pointed that. That's the only thing that kept me off that at the time being. Yeah,
I like that. I'm afraid with those trends sometimes. I don't know.
I agree. Like that's trends is kind of like, I think you said this in prior weeks. Like it's something to support a bet if you like a bet, but it's not something to make a bet. So I agree with you. And that's where I was like, I don't put much stock into that because he had different teams. He had different coaches. Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Sack props over 47.5 was not a best bet. But
okay.
But
just you like it. Yeah.
But these next ones could be. Okay, sack props segment. Here we go. I got some stuff. I don't know if you have anything on this. I'm going to roll through them and then you give me some feedback. I'll start with my favorite one. Let's save best for first. Sure. Jonathan Greenard, Vikings. Absolute boss, by the way, when I started looking at this cat. I like him a lot here. Okay. So the Bears, I always do this to kind of start my sack prop research. Last 4 weeks, most sacks allowed. Bears still lead. They're at 21 sacks allowed in the last 4 weeks. Okay. So, but here's the thing about Jonathan Greenard. Greenard?
Grenard.
Thank you. Grenard. Get better, see. Okay. Jonathan Grenard plays literally a shit ton of snaps rushing the quarterback. That's the number one key here. Okay. The Bears line, if you look at it, that's actually still quality. It really is. It's a quality line. Okay.
It is.
Problem
that's kind
is
of what the confounding part about all the sacks.
I know.
Caleb Williams.
It's Caleb Williams. All right. A lot of this is on quarterback, right? Spencer Rattler. But he hasn't had a sack in the last 2 weeks, which does suck, especially when he's played Jacksonville Jags and he played the Tennessee Titans, right? So, but he does have 7 sacks on the year, and if you look at it, he had 14 last season, and his grade is very nice rushing the quarterback.
Yep.
Okay. Here's a quick tidbit on your boy Greenard. Of the players who have played 10 games or less, he ranks 5th in pass rushing snaps. 10 games or left, right? Because there's a lot of people haven't had a bye week, right? We have some 11 games out there, so they don't count. So this is more of a bet on against Caleb Williams and for the amount of times rushing the quarterback. This is the best bet. I haven't seen it yet. It's not listed. Jonathan Greenard, get a sack, over half a sack. I like it.
Okay. Yeah. The only thing the only pushback. Well, it's Caleb Williams. This is the bet against Caleb Williams, right? Because looking at the Bears' offensive line, it's like, where's the weakness? But yet they do continue to allow a lot of sacks. I just wanted to look at last week. They still allowed 3 sacks against the Packers,
and I won on one of them. Rashawn Gary.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep, that's right. So and he is their best defensive lineman. And a lot of snaps, like you said.
I'll keep rolling here. My next one it's interesting. Texans are the second most sacks allowed in the last 4 weeks because C.J. Stroud sucks.
Also, yep.
Jeffrey Simmons, really good defensive tackle for the Tennessee. For the Tennessee Titans. It's just kind of weird because you would think Greenard would have had a sack versus them. He did not, so that was kind of like, but Simmons is very, very, he's a good player, so I like that. And then this one you might like the best, but I'm interested to see your thoughts.
Okay.
Giants are now playing Daniel Jones at safety on the scout team.
It's so fucking funny.
Daniel Jones is not their starting quarterback anymore.
Oh, man.
They're not starting Drew Lock either. But on the other side of the ball, defensive player, right? They had the Buccaneers this week, right? Correct. You got it? You know what I'm going to say?
No, but I just like where you're headed already.
Yaya Diaby.
Yeah, we're going back to Yaya Diaby?
We are. You're a big win percentage guy. Aiden Hutchinson does not count. He is injured. Okay. With players with 200 snaps or more rushing the quarterback, he is 3rd ranked in win percentage.
Okay.
Well, Nick Bosa is there, and Max Crosby is there. I think those are the two. The guys I saw, I was like, well, okay, yeah, they're the best. I barely even heard of this cat. Everybody else is all pro. I love this spot. The problem is he doesn't jump off the board on numbers. So pass rush grade is good. Win percentage is good. I didn't even see. All I know is I was like, win percentage. So he's gotten Pass rush snaps over 200. I think he's like 280 on the year. Is that it? I got it right here. Sorry.
He's not even listed as a starter for the team.
31 pass rush snaps last week versus Niners. Last week. That was 2 weeks ago. We're in week 12, right? Yes. Okay. Week 10, 31 snaps. Pass rushing snaps. He had 46 total. 61 total snaps versus Kansas City, 33 rushing the quarterback. Right? This dude gets at least a quarterback hurry a game. He had 4 against San Francisco.
Oh, here's Yaya. Okay.
The dude's an absolute, he's just all over the field and trying to get after the quarterback. We just can't get the number. He got 2 sacks on the year. We can't get the number. Right? We can't get the freaking numbers. So I think this is a risk, but it makes sense. It makes sense in grade wise. So maybe
Tommy DeVito.
And Tommy DeVito. I would love to know sacks allowed for DeVito. I would have to do that. That's some research now. Right.
Yeah, going back to last year because that's the data point that we have. Yeah. Only concern, you see that Evan Neal is back for the Giants. Right tackle.
Okay. Yeah.
Because he grades out very well. Well, no, actually, I'm going to take that back. He was
50.2. That's why I looked at it.
Yeah, that's why I was like, let me take that back. Because actually, in his first 2 years in the league, he was 7th overall pick. So you would think this guy would be a stud. He had a fucking terrible grades his first 2 years. This year, last week was the first week he came back, and he has you quickly look, 81 grade, great. Then I dig in deeper, and it's like, wait, he knows how to run block, but he can't fucking pass block. And I think this is back to the means to regression, right? If you had 2 years at being piss poor, and now you've played one game and you got an excellent grade in that game, you're going to regress back to what you are.
All right, you ready for this? I got gold here.
All right.
When DeVito was a starter, okay, if he passes 20 times or more, 7 sacks this is last season. 7 sacks versus the Saints, 6 versus the Patriots, 9 versus the Commanders, 5 versus Dallas, 6 versus the Raiders, and then didn't have over 20 attempts, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. Yep, I'm in.
That
did it for me.
4.
That did it for me.
At least 4. Who's it going to be?
Dude, it's going to be Yaya.
Like, I'm hoping, bro. Like, dang, if he's winning that much and their line, is that rough, come on. Could be a Browns scenario here.
Yes. This was okay. This was a good little find.
I told you this was
you're right. I do like Yaya. I especially like seeing Evan Neal back. Actually, that makes me feel better about it. That guy can't find.
And I'll cap it off here with the funniest thing is they do have a defensive sack prop listed for the game, and it's Brian Burns for the Giants.
Oh, man.
So random.
Of course. I mean, he's a good player. They're going to put the big players up there.
So random that he's on
I bet we'll have something Friday night, Saturday.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying it was just so random. I mean, you got Vita Vea, get up in there, get you one, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Diaby's their guy to get after the quarterback and create havoc. He just doesn't have a number to show for it.
Okay.
This could be a multiple bet sack prop activity. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I did bring up earlier in the show the pass plus win rate, because sacks are kind of random. So this could be an area where you could get like a plus 200 on the guy maybe because he only has 2 on the year. So you could get great value on this.
I know, because Vegas doesn't know how to deal with it maybe, right? Because he has no sacks. He has 2 sacks. And DeVito's a new quarterback, and they got Neal back sort of, on the line. Got him back last week 10, sorry. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see what we get, but I like it. Granted, it's the best bet, but because this one is so sounds good, PFF grades look promising for you. Does it come out in a result?
Right.
Man.
But listen, this is the biggest sell of the week on the sack prop for me.
Okay.
Because of Tommy DeVito. Yeah. Once you pulled that shit out, yeah, man. And Vita Vea is more of a run stopper anyways. He's a guy that you almost double team because he's so big and powerful. He's not getting a ton of sacks. He's just clogging up your run lane. But maybe if they put more focus on him, Yaya's got the edge to himself.
Bro, I'm hoping. And that game will be on most likely because it's Tampa Bay. and I'll get that game.
So, okay.
I mean, the more I'll weigh it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I considered taking the Giants in the spot. I don't want to, though. I don't know. Just because the backup quarterback value.
Yeah, I know.
But Bucks get Mike Evans back, and they've actually impressed me. So it's probably a stay away, actually. But
all right.
Yeah. That'll be the action. All right. Anyways, moving on.
Moving on to college here. Got some Colorado at Kansas. I had to put some homer picks on here, right? We got West Virginia, got Kansas.
Hell yeah.
Here's the thing. This game is huge. Kansas is. I mean, some of the pros say they're one of the best teams in college football. That's not true right now. You know what I mean? That's a really bold pick. You know, they're saying that they're that good.
PFF had them as the 34th ranked team.
34th. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, they've had some bad losses.
That sounds right.
Yeah, bad losses this year, so it kind of sucks. Anyway, got best two offenses in the Big 12 going at it, right? Jalen Daniels looked really poor in the beginning of the year in terms of interceptions. Now, I think the last 4 games, it's 8 touchdowns, 2 picks, I think's what it is. Here's the thing. Colorado grades out very, very well. They're a very good team, right? Top to bottom. Colorado's best pass coverage. They have the second best run defense. And Kansas, dude, I don't know if you looked at the game last week. They had no business winning the game. No business.
No, I'm aware. I didn't feel good about my bet.
Dude,
because BYU kept going up and down. They just got to punch it in.
That's it. Yep. Outgained about 112 yards last week.
Damn. Yeah.
It's just nuts, man. Kansas started out 6 straight games, 0-6 ATS, but they're now 4-0. Pretty nuts.
Pros have loved him like the whole time.
I know, man.
Let's keep going back to the well.
Colorado's covered 8 straight. Here's what did pop out at me. I like this one. Kansas 3-0 last as a home dog last year, all in conference.
The difference is they're not playing at their stadium this year.
That's right. It's at Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep. Because they're redoing the stadium.
Yeah, I don't know if that's good or bad. What's your thought?
I don't either. I don't. Okay. The fan base is the only thing I worry about. But they've been packing the stadium. I guess it could actually be better for them than their stadium, because I obviously went to school there and went to all their games. They never had a home field advantage.
Yeah, really.
And the Arrowhead is known the way it collects sound a little bit better. I just don't think they'll go to big enough turnout that it'll matter, actually.
Man, that sucks. I mean, you would think maybe Dion brings some other guys out. Kansas obviously has played very well of late. Maybe you get some more crowd. I don't know. Kansas has a very good O-line. They've been good all year. I know the D-line with a top 5 in the nation in sacks, Colorado is. So this will be a good matchup there in the trenches. You know what it's going to come down to? It's going to come down to Daniels. Does he continue on this path of playing well? Right? He's playing pretty well before the BYU game. But it's going to come down to Daniels, man, because CU's a pretty good team, man. They're a pretty decent tackling team. They're ranked 3rd in the Big 12. And if you look at Phil Still's game grades, they have Colorado winning by 4. I'm going to stay on the Jayhawks train here, and if the pros like it, I don't know what the money percentage is. I don't know if you have that up. If the pros like it, I'm going to ride it. I got Kansas money line.
Money line.
Not a best bet. But I'm going to go back to it. They're going to ruin it. They're going to make the Big 12 messy again and get it a mess. The date, again, this is kind of like an NFL thing we were talking about earlier. It just, Big 12's they've been biting back all year, right? Just when Iowa State is undefeated, they're not. They're not good.
Yep.
Like they were one of the worst tackling teams in the country, and it showed out, right? That was a matter of time. Kansas was the one who ruined it. I just think that the Big 12 has been biting back all year, so I'm kind of just going off a play here. Colorado, right? We all were off of them to start the year. Well, they started winning and covering and being beast. We all jumped on. That was me included last week. Had a best bet. Now, do we jump off? I don't know. I think this is a bold bet, not a best bet, but this game's going to be super good, 3:30 Eastern time. Any thoughts?
Real quick, so the bet and the spread percentage is very even in this game.
Good.
Very even. So I don't know if that means there's a battle among pros.
Yeah.
So my question is, do you think this number, we're at 3 now. Do you think if we wait until Saturday, does the public come in and take Colorado and bump this to 3.5? Or is this going to be a sharp game where the books are going to say, fuck the public, we're going to keep this at 3 or go to 2.5?
I fully believe it gets back to 3.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised 3.5 either. I fully believe this number will move back to 3. There you go.
Oh, that's what I'm seeing that now.
I got 2.5 here on FanDuel and DraftKings. I don't know what you got. Is that accurate?
Okay. So I was looking at PFF that says 3.
Okay.
Let me pull up like all my books.
Okay. BetMGM has it at 3. Bet365 has it at 3. So if you can get a +3, and if you can't now, I'd wait. Right.
So I can get so FanDuel and DK 2.5.
Yeah.
ESPN is 3. Caesars, MGM, they're all at 3.
Okay.
So ESPN for me is where I could get the 3.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm wondering. Because I would want to take Kansas too, but I do like that field goal just since they crumble in the fourth quarter so many times.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm just wondering. That's why I asked the question. Because do I take this now, or do I wait? Just and the waiting is simply because public probably sees like Colorado. We love Colorado. So
yeah.
That's my only question is when I bet this.
I could see the money line percentage actually adjusting a bit here. Like -150 Colorado is awful. I would not take that. No. +125 that's pretty solid. I'm trying to think what have I waited on it or did I stab it? I stabbed it. I got 125. Yeah. I like that. I don't think you'll get better than 130 there.
Yeah.
Could be wrong, man. Could be wrong. Public is powerful sometimes.
Sometimes, but I was thinking that last week. I texted my friend because I put a little bit on KU money line, and then I texted him and I said, hey, I think the public's going to, late game, they're going to want to watch this, and they're going to see undefeated BYU with Kansas. It's going to push this number up. It did not. It stayed the exact same.
Yeah. So
you're probably right. I think the way to go is now. But I'm with you as far as thoughts. I just think Kansas has a really good roster, more on offense than defense.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. And Jalen Daniels, yes, he looked so bad to start the year. Like 2 years ago, Jalen Daniels, I was like, this guy's going to actually go pro.
Totally agree.
And then the first 6 games this year, I was like, this guy's not getting fucking drafted.
No.
But now the last 2-3 games, I'm like, okay, maybe he had to get some rust off. I'm not sure, but I like what I see from him. And Kansas is still desperate to make a bowl game. They've got to win out. And what's funny is they go on that losing streak where they lose every game in the fourth quarter. Then they knock off Iowa State, who, like you said, thought was the best. Then BYU, who thought were the best. Now everyone's kind of thinking Colorado. Can they beat the top 3 teams in the Big 12 in consecutive weeks?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It's just crazy, the finish of schedule that Kansas is going to have here. And if they win out, that is insane, right? Iowa State takes down an undefeated team. BYU undefeated takes them down. Colorado controls their own destiny, probably a playoff team, considering their grades on PFF and how good they've looked and covering, takes them down. And then a Baylor team that has come on of late as well, waxed West Virginia last week, right? Has come on as late. Should have beat Colorado if they would figure out how to cover a Hail Mary pass in the end zone. Yep. So a Baylor team's on there, and it's on the road at Baylor. This finish to make a bowl game would be absolutely incredible from a Jayhawks fan. It would be
such a cool story. Such a cool story, man. And then everyone would just be like, what could have been?
Yep. That is a Big 12 possible championship team, but that's how that shit works,
Yep.
Right.
So very intrigued by this game. Very intrigued.
Oh, yes. No, I'm pumped. Texas A&M at Auburn. I put this on because I watched the Auburn game last week. They actually looked very good. I know I'm going back to yes, we could say this is some Chiefs shit, right? Some Ravens, some Bengals. I keep putting Auburn back, putting it back on, right? We had Auburn, Cal, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. I'm going back only because A&M could make the playoff, right? This is a game that they could make the playoff, and they're on the road, okay?
Very much, yeah.
And I'm not saying Hugh Freeze is on the hot seat, but, I'm sure he's going to be looked at. Revenge factor.
You mentioned that a few weeks ago. Sorry, Go ahead. Yes.
That's what, and I like that. I like a little bit of motivation there. And they looked really good. I know it was Louisiana Monroe, but I'm just saying the defense still looking as solid as they have all year. Auburn got beat really bad against A&M last year, so I see a revenge play here. especially being at home.
Did Phil Still, does he have that on his revenge play?
I'll be honest with you. I'm being dead honest. I have not looked at that PDF the entire season. Can you believe
really?
that? Yep. Because I make most of my bets now Thursday, before Thursday. I do throw some in on Saturday morning, but I never look at his PDF anymore.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Now I do listen to his podcast. Oh, you do? Okay.
Well, no, remember early season, I tried looking at it and I was like, God, this is going to take 30 minutes to figure out. So I was like, fuck this.
It is kind of what do they call that? An eye chart sometimes. Like,
yes.
It is a bit of a tough, but I haven't looked at it all year just because I do listen to his podcast and stuff. I do that. But I don't look at that anymore. That was like my Bible last year. This year I've gotten away from that just because I've been trying to do my own stuff. A&M runs 52% of the time because they're so bad at the pass, right? We've had some different quarterbacks coming in with Wegman and then the other guy kind of back and forth. They took Wegman out or whatever, and then they put the other guy in versus LSU, and then they got better. So they're kind of a mess there. It's kind of weird, though, with them, right? Auburn's strength is their rush defense. Very good. Third ranked in the conference. They're only allowing 3 yards a carry in SEC play specifically. That's how good their defense is in terms of rush defense. I love that stat. This will be the best defense that A&M has played up to this point. So everybody's on A&M. In Auburn, every week, man, their record doesn't say it, but they're a top 25 graded team, but their record doesn't say it. So I'm trying to get on the week that I'm right here with Auburn. I'm trying to get on the right week. And I don't know when that week is. Is it this one? I mean, we run out of time here. Plus, like they have to win out for a bowl. We have another Kansas situation here.
Yes, I was going to mention that.
That's another thing that just blows my mind. Is well graded as specifically their defense is, right? If you go look at their defense, super nice, man. As well graded as they are, you know what I mean? Their record sucks. They're 4-6. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Also, A&M's 3-7 against the spread as a whole. So I don't like that either.
Not great.
I mean, they got some guys probably play on the D-line in the NFL. Auburn will. In conference play, Auburn's only letting up 52.7 completion percentage on the year in conference play. Again, Reed's a quarterback for A&M, so it's a little bit better. I just like this play a lot, but I was scared because Auburn, they continue to kind of be weird in terms of like, will they win? Will they not? I'm going to go to the defense here. I'm going to go with what's been their best part of their game is the defensive side of ball. Team total, I would love to get to 24.5. If the total could, Texas A&M.
Okay.
Under 23.5, Texas A&M. I love this bet because it's D-line bet, right? They got a very good D-line. A&M likes to run the ball a little bit more. They're going to stuff that run. You can't run on Auburn, all right? So you're going to have to pass it, and they're going to put the ball back in Reed's hands. Here's why I don't bet on Auburn, and this is kind of a tribute to Brandon Morrow. Peyton Thorne, if you look at his grade in PFF, it's not that bad. It's actually a decent. That's the quarterback for Auburn.
Yeah, I would say.
He sucks. He sucks. Okay.
I love Peyton Thorne, man. He let OU win a game this year. Love that guy.
I watched him versus Louisiana Monroe last week, the whole game, and he sucks.
Oh, really? You watched that fucking game? What a stud.
He sucks.
Okay.
Auburn's
like a 5-year starter too.
Dude, he's just not good, man. No. Marcel Reed is the 244th out of 285 pass graded quarterback, so he's very poorly at the pass, but he's very good at the run.
He's just fast as fuck.
Auburn's D-line is going to run this game, boy. They're going to run this game. I would love to bet Auburn. I'm betting against Peyton Thorne. That's why I'm not doing that.
Okay. That's why you like the team total under.
Yeah, man.
And you said, you found it at 24.5 or 23?
I have 23.5, dude.
Ah, damn. Okay.
If you can get, dude, I love 24.5. As in, that would be triple down. If I see it again,
triple.
Yeah, if I see it at 24.5, I will rebet it. Yes, Auburn at home. They don't let people run on them. And A&M can't pass. I like it, bro.
Yep.
Because if you look at the LSU game, LSU sucks. I mean, Florida proved that, right? So we can't. That's the thing. This is the best defense they've played all year. I just love it. I love the bet. 23.5 is what I got. Team total.
best defense of the year.
Yeah, man. There you go.
Man, yeah, I was going to see if I could get 24.5. I cannot.
Damn it. All right.
Yeah, only thing, it's not juiced. Like, sometimes you see this minus 120. It's minus 105, minus 110.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it gets to even a flat 24. I'm going to wait on this one. Like,
yeah,
I like
I was
what you're
going
saying
to
there.
as well. I was going to wait too.
Yeah, I just don't think we're going to lose anything if it goes to 23 or 22.5, I guess.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, so that's where it's like I don't feel the need to go rush this. And since it's not juiced, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I like what you're saying there. I have not watched Auburn as much. I have watched some A&M. And, God, I've wanted to fade this team so much. And I picked the wrong games to fade them, which is crazy because, yeah, ATS, they suck.
Yep.
But I have not faded them in the right games, A&M. So that's like, and when you talk about Peyton Thorpe, I have watched him enough where I have been like, God, this guy's not helping his team out. So I like your angle. I do like that angle the most. I want to see overall total. What are we looking at? Very split. Okay, it's a very split, 50-50. Nothing there. Not because I want the overall over-under, but just as an indication, you know, where it's going. But it has moved from 47.5 to 46.5. 47 is a key number. So there's obviously been enough smart money
like the under
to take this below a key.
I like the number. I like the under 2.
You do the full because, well, yeah, if you hate Peyton Thorpe, the only, I guess, worry would be turnovers if he's if you hate him that much.
Auburn's running back Hunter, Jaquez Hunter, I believe that's what it is. They like giving him the rock. They like passing with Peyton Thorne too. Don't get it twisted, because because Auburn's got some receivers, man. That Christian Coleman, that freshman kid, went off last week.
Yeah, you mentioned him. Yeah,
he's a freshman, so he's a little inconsistent. But they got some other guys that are ballers, so they believe in delivering the rock. But man, Jaquez Hunter's over 1,000-yard rusher. You know, they like giving him, so that's why I think the total's going down because of the D line on Auburn, and then Auburn should be running the ball.
Here's a surprising thing. I expected, you know, because I mentioned maybe turnovers being the only scare of the under.
Yeah.
Peyton Thorpe's turnover-worthy play percentage is only 2%, man.
That's unbelievable.
Isn't that? Like, I would not have expected that at all.
He sucks.
Other thing, I thought you were going to go Auburn. A&M plays Texas to finish the year out, so I could see a look-ahead game. Now, obviously, you came around to know I don't like Auburn. I like the team total under. But is it a look-ahead spot for A&M too?
You mentioned that. Did you hear Mike Elko is the head coach of Texas A&M, and they asked him, is this a possible look-ahead spot? Because I know you got Texas next week.
Oh, they asked him.
Blah, blah. And he goes, yeah, we're, it's something that it's asked often, but, we're completely focused on Auburn for this week.
No.
Yep. I mean, he misspoke.
I know, but it's funny because they're always going to say that. What do you expect them to be like? Yeah, we're focused on tech. Yeah, what the fuck are they going to say, dude?
I'm telling you.
But it's funny that he messed up.
If you look at the money percentage, money line, it's 88% on Auburn here. So
I did see that because the spread split, but people are just taking Auburn money line. They're not taking the number.
Yep,
they don't want the number.
All right, UCFWU. I'll be quick here. Both of these teams are kind of bottom dwellers. I would say below average ball, like as in you have, Arizona and like Houston, more like Cincinnati's, down there a little bit. Yeah. They're all kind of hanging out, right? I think this is going to be a really good game. I just do. That's why I put it on here. It's big for Neil Brown in West Virginia, but it's also big for UCF too to not be at the bottom. Like if another Big 12 loss occurs, it's like, and they're on their third string quarterback, so it's weird. But that's because it's their own call. Right there, they've benched KJ Jefferson because they wanted to. They benched the next guy because they wanted to. It's not by injuries. That's why it's kind of interesting. W sucks against the pass, but UCF doesn't like to pass the ball, right? So I thought that was nice. But I'll just skip to the point. I got West Virginia money line, but this is you're going to love this. You hate these when I do it. Weather play, bro. This is a weather play, man. This is
talk to me.
UCF. Lives in Florida. Right? It's in Orlando, right here down the road.
They live in Florida. That's right.
Right down the road. There's a lot of Florida kids on that roster. This is 45 degrees, 60% chance of rain, and over 10 miles, maybe most likely over 10 miles an hour wind. So the weather's not going to be great at all. That's why this is a complete weather play. UCF, right? What a draining loss last week. Traveled to Arizona State. Absolute dogfight and lost by 4 And again, that's Orlando to what is that? All the way to Arizona State. What is that? Not Tempe, but you know what I mean?
You're almost cross country. You're crossing 3 time zones.
Guess what? We're going there. Guess where we're going now? Now we're going back up to Morgantown, West Virginia, right? And we got terrible weather. And now your UCF, you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I think they also are in a situation where they have to win out to even get a bowl game.
They do.
Exactly. Right. But West Virginia's 1 win away in their situation. So
they're going to want it because they're on the road next week.
Correct. So a little bit more of a hunger here, but here's the thing. They're terrible at home they're terrible period at home. They're also terrible against the spread against it as well. West Virginia is. You know what I mean? I know they have that real nice win against Kansas, but they've lost Iowa State, lost Kansas State. The Baylor loss last week was awful, bro. They looked terrible. I could tackle anyone. This bounce back spot, this is a weather spot. I started looking at the numbers. I hated my bet even more. So this could be a mistake, but this is all emotion and feel. I'm going to admit it.
Okay.
They need to win. They need to win to get bowl eligible. Neil Brown needs to win and not be fired. West Virginia will not show up in fans. We just kind of talked about that pre-show. Like people are trying to get rid of their tickets. Yeah. One thing that did step out, right? We said trends should be supporting, not making the bet.
Yeah.
This is going into the season, West Virginia and Neil Brown specifically, 17-11 against the spread straight up after a loss.
Okay.
Neil Brown is 31-15 all time after a loss.
Oh, where did he coach before West Virginia?
Troy.
Okay.
Killed it. Yep. Killed it there. 31-15 all time as a head coach after a loss. Love that shit. That shit.
That is good.
Got to make a bowl game. Be huge for them. Be huge for Neil Brown, saving his job possibly. Dude. And UCF, I just don't know. I just don't think they're that good. This is big, man. This will be a really good game too.
UCF hasn't beat anybody good this year.
Nope.
Put it that way. They are losing every game they are supposed to lose.
But West Virginia's not good either.
That's true. I mean, yeah, you're right. Here's something that I think also supports your bet. Moneyline bets. Because I don't have spread percentage for some reason, but moneyline bets.
Okay.
Only 7% of the tickets are on West Virginia, but they are attracting half the money.
Oh. Okay.
So the big money is on West Virginia money line.
Dude,
yep.
It's the weather. It's just all the emotion bullshit. Because if you look at the numbers, UCF does have a slight edge, and I think they might be against the third string quarterback for UCF because he's so raw. He only has 2 games under his belt, but he's a freshman. Dude, if I'm a freshman going up in West Virginia, fuck that. Yeah. It's cold. Ain't nobody here. Well, there won't be anybody there for that game, which is weird. I don't know. Like, West Virginia's got to still win at home, and it can't be just the Kansas win, bro. Come on. You know?
Yeah. Because we talked, also about that before. Like, they were down 14 in that game.
Yep.
It took a massive comeback. Yeah.
Right after Pitt, when Pitt did it to them the week before.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Same thing. Same exact scenario almost.
Yeah. Dylan, this guy has a good grade. It's so funny. This
I know.
But he's played in 2 games. That's just not enough data to get, like, an accurate. Yep. Have you watched him much?
I have not. This Rick's guy?
No?
I have not. I watched the previous 2 guys and I was like, they suck. UCF sucked. It's funny because...
they played Arizona and then Arizona State. Because I wanted, who has he played against? Arizona sucks. Arizona State is obviously a little bit more respectable.
Right.
Respectable. That's it.
Yeah. It's good, dude. It's going to be... The over probably is pretty solid if you want that, but I took it under because of the weather. I love the under here as well.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
I actually love the under more than the West Virginia money line because that's more of a statistical aim at it, I guess. Well, I guess it's weather based, really. But I don't know, man. It's going to be good. 3:30 as well. You got 2 good 3:30 games if you care. Big 12, man. I was hammering the Big 12 this week. 2 games for the Big 12.
Yeah. I like it. I'm a Big 12 guy.
Yeah.
Most interesting conference, parity-wise.
Definitely this year. Ain't no freaking doubt, bro.
Because like you said, man, it's just once every team's at the top, they lose. It's fucking wild.
I mean, BYU undefeated, Iowa State undefeated. I mean, Colorado's going to control their destiny. It's been kind of
now
nuts.
You've got Arizona State sneaking in.
Arizona State could win it.
What?
There is a path.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, I don't have anything else on this game.
Yeah. It's all good.
But yeah, interesting points.
Yeah, that's real quick. All right, let's do best bets here. We got that lined up, and I'll get us going here. Start the slideshow, but all right. Oh, not there. Told you. Perfect. All right. Anyway, I don't know why it's not there. We'll do
it's all right. We can talk about it.
Yeah, I'll do it with
there's something pops up.
No, I'll do it with the browser. It's okay. Sorry, you're not going first. All right, UCFW under 64.5. I got under 64.5. I see some books are already down to 63.5 and whatnot. Love that one. That's at 3:30. A&M under 23.5 team total. I have West Virginia money line. I could see an Auburn money line there. Not a best bet, but as you can see, Josh Jacobs over 7.5 rushing yards. My NFL prop there. I like that a lot. We talked about the 49ers rush defense being poor. They can't tackle. Jonathan Grenard is my over and a half sack. I think you probably rather go the Tampa Bay Buccaneers one.
I like Yaya. Yaya.
But yeah, over and a half sack just based off snap count for Jonathan.
Snap count and Caleb Williams.
And Caleb Williams, right? Sometimes it's got to be a bet against the other team as much as it's for someone 100%. Or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All right, what you got?
Yep, 100%. So teaser again, because I love it. Can't stop, won't stop. Niners, Lions, talked about it. Niners 8.5, Lions down to 1.5. Yeah, they've both been darlings. Colts and Lions against the spread, but I think they win this game, and I have no interest in taking the spread. Cardinals money line at the Seahawks. Yeah. Let's go Kyler Murray coming off the bye. Please fucking show up, my man. Josh Downs, I took him over at 22.5 longest reception. However, just like you said, I like the receiving prop. I'm going to hammer that once I actually get it too. But for the best bet sake, I also like getting a long pass against the Lions because they're a pretty aggressive defense. They can allow things over the top.
Yep.
Final one we did not talk about. I am going to take the ugly-ass New England Patriots plus 7.5 at the Miami Dolphins. Listen, this is Drake May, better than I thought.
Yeah,
did not think he... I mean, he doesn't have a huge sample size, but I have seen things from the Patriots where previously I thought they might quit on the year. They have not quit because, they were trading away guys.
Yeah.
They're not quitting on the year. I'm also not impressed with the Dolphins, dude. I don't care about their winning streak. I don't care about Tua coming back. They're fine. They're not great. It's a division game. You're giving me over a touchdown. I fucking like the Patriots, man. I do. So,
yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, I mean.
Ugly bets. Some ugly bets win.
That's true. Yeah, I've run a couple of those. All right.
Yeah.
That's our best bets. That's all we got. And this is going to be the longest one we've ever done.
Holy shit.
Yeah. 1 minute, 1 hour, 32. All right. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Deuces.